Let's make a super easy and fast Christmas gift that everybody will love in 2023. Hey there friend, how are you doing? Christmas is right around the corner and I know things can get a little stressful, but if you're still looking for a Christmas gift, hopefully this video will make it a little easier. So let's go over what you'll need and make this super easy soap. We'll be using melt and pour soap, which is a pre-made soap base that you cut into small pieces, melt in the microwave, and it's ready to use in a few hours. Next, you'll need a fragrance of your choice. I'm using these essential oil blends from Make C, and then you'll need a mold. I also got this from Hobby Lobby, and any mold will do. Lastly, you'll need whatever you plan on wrapping the soap in. First, I'm going to go in with this clear soap base I already had on hand. I wanted to do a duotoned flower and add some botanicals to it to make it a little extra special, but if you don't have that, don't worry, you can totally skip this step. These are just some items I already had from previous soap making excursions and playing with different supplies. But yeah, so don't worry about it if you don't already have this. You can just use the soap base you have and just start this process. So I'm going to start by cutting the soap into small, even-sized pieces and putting it in my pot. I have a pot of water boiling on the side. That is going to be my double boiler. You can also do this in the microwave if you don't have a double boiler or you don't want to do it on the stove. But yeah, so you just want to make sure these pieces are even so that they melt evenly. One thing about melt and pour soap is that it can be a little temperamental. You don't want to get it too hot. Anything over 120, 130 degrees, it has the chance of turning your soap kind of snotty and goopy, and it's just not fun to play with, and it makes for interesting textured soap when you're done with it. So I'm just going to put all that in my jar, and I'm going to put it in my pot of simmering water, again makeshift double boiler. And now I'm going to go in with my white soap base, and I'm just going to do the exact same thing and prep that as well. And one thing I love about using melt and pour soap during the holidays, and especially for gifts, is because it's super easy to use and there's no waiting for it to cure or harden or for water to evaporate. And there's so many varieties, there's so many options you can use. They have, the one I'm using is the goat milk soap base. It's a detergent free one that I found at Hobby Lobby, but they had coconut milk, they had oatmeal, a bunch of other ones, cocoa butter, and so there's a big variety as far as soap bases are concerned, and some are a bit cleaner than others. I will say that this channel, we are more focused on clean ingredients when it comes to soap, and the soap I found was as clean as I could find in the store, but I wanted this video to be really quick, easy, and convenient. Alright, so now that our clear soap base has melted, giving that a good mix, you're going to want to keep mixing it, making sure you get those clumps out and just keeping an eye on it. Now I'm going to add a little bit of my essential oil blend. This one called Cheer from Make C. I promise y'all, it smells like an orange creamsicle. It's just this beautiful, sweet, citrusy scent that reminds me of my childhood and having orange creamsicles during the summer. Next, I'm going in with this small spray bottle of rubbing alcohol that helps break up the air bubbles that form on top of the soap. Air bubbles are completely harmless, they don't hurt the soap, but if you're going for a more aesthetically pleasing, cleaner look, you'll definitely want to get some rubbing alcohol to pop those bubbles. And so then I went in with my botanicals, as I mentioned before. I wanted to really help it pop and stand out a little bit. And these are just some botanicals that I had around the house that I hadn't used yet. And so you can totally omit this step, but if you wanted to use calendula, lavender petals, rose petals, peppermint leaves, anything like that, any kind of dried plant material would be totally fine here. As you can see, my white base is melting down slowly but surely, and so I'm just gonna finish doing the flowers, constantly checking the temperature, making sure it's not getting too hot, adding the rest of the fragrance in there, and just keeping it moving. That's the name of the game with melt and pour soap. Just keep it moving, or else it starts to develop a film on top, and you don't want that. And just pouring it is super satisfying, and this was super easy. I probably did this in about 30 minutes, not much more than that. The longest time was waiting for the soap to melt in my double boiler. If you did this in the microwave, you're going to want to do it in 30-second bursts. Definitely keeping your eye on it. It's depending on how old your microwave is, what the power is on your microwave. It's very easy to overheat the melt and pour base, so you'll want to make sure that when you're using the microwave, do it in 30-second bursts. Make sure you're moving it around with the spoon and mixing it up, so that way no part is getting overheated compared to others. Alright, so we finished our flowers. See y'all, I told y'all this was going to be quick. We finished our flowers, and now I'm moving on to just a regular soap mold. For this gift set, I was doing this for my family, and so I wanted them to have a floral one, and then I wanted them to have like a regular soap bar. Here I'm adding some paprika. I originally had in mind of making a duotone soap to look like candy cane, because that's just classic during Christmas. So I was going to have a layer of white, and then using the paprika I was going to have a somewhat layer of red, but you can see it came out a bit more orange, but it's still a decent contrast compared to the white. And I'm just adding a bit more fragrance to each and seeing where it goes. I started to do the layers, and then it was just taking too long to set, and I got impatient, and so I just decided to take my hand at a swirl, and this is how it ended up turning out. The flower came out really beautifully. I ended up losing all the footage that I had, which is unfortunate. It's super easy, super quick, great last minute Christmas gift idea, and I hope you guys enjoyed it. Now that you've seen how to use melt and pour soap, do you want to see how I make soap using the traditional method? Click the video here, and I'll see you soon.